Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, March the 10th. We are not necessarily having a formal lesson today. We're just going to have more application problems from 4.05 day 3. So that's why we don't have a goal, because this is just a couple or 3 examples. It's really one example, but 3 different questions. But I promise you, it's going to take all hour. All right, so here's the problem. This is the only problems we're doing today. Volunteer would like to read this for us? You all read so much better than I can. All right, Noah, go for it. Thank you.
From where a helicopter is hovering above the ground, the pilot can spot 2 small wildfires, one from an 8-degree angle of depression and the other from a 35-degree angle of depression. The fires are 14.6 kilometers apart. Do you want me to read the questions too? Okay. 1. How far is the helicopter from the fire that is farther away? Round to the nearest thousandth. 2. How far is the helicopter from the fire that is nearest? Round to the nearest thousandth. And 3. How high is the helicopter off the ground? Round to the nearest thousandth.
Oh yeah, so this is a good question. You'll see this type of problem on your quiz and on your test, and obviously in the learn and practice module examples. But if you can do this problem, you can probably do any of them that you'll see on the quiz or test. How was that nice, Brady? I know the module likes to use like the 10th place a lot. I just like to use the thousandth place a lot. Oh, different ones. Oh yeah. I like keeping things consistent to some degree, I guess. All right. So the first one. All right. Now I would like all of you on your paper to create a diagram. And I want you to label stuff. So this is going to be a good test to see if you can actually do this. Please do not wait to see the answer. Try something. Also, to make everyone's picture diagram look the same, let's make the helicopter in the top left here. So again, for your diagram, let's make your helicopter in the top left corner of your paper. And that way we should have the same diagram in the end. And then when you have finished that, once you have created your diagram, you don't have to label anything yet, but I just want to see once you get to that step, basically. Isaiah, still working? Remember, we're just creating the diagram showing where everything is at. You're not labeling anything yet, unless you want to, but I'm just waiting for everyone to create their diagram. All right, Isaiah, what's going on? You should have a helicopter, 2 fires, and you press the check. It doesn't show you. You pressed it on my side. Maybe yours is broken. All right, well, new row. Must be a new row feature. All right, a volunteer would like to draw their diagram. Now, you don't have to fill in any numbers yet. All right, Enzo, go for it. Let's see your artistic talents. And you don't have to draw pictures of a helicopter unless you want to. I just want to see the framework. That's a pretty sweet triangle. Nope, don't label anything yet. Don't label anything. Nope. I don't want any numbers yet. No numbers. But label where the points are. So identify like the helicopter and your fires. You do that. Good. All right. All right. Does everyone have a similar looking diagram? You have the helicopter floating in the sky on the far left, and then you have 2 fires in the distance. And you have a line going from the helicopter to each fire. Looks like one person has something different. Please share how yours may be different. Okay, you didn't add the vertical line. Okay, mine was a right triangle. Yours wasn't a right triangle. Okay. Yeah, so Enzo's kind of taking all 3 problems into consideration, and that third one is to find the height of the helicopter. So that's why he has this piece right here. But you could have just I'm just gonna see if I can take this little piece away. Kinda, yeah. So I can take that away, and then this would be the ground, right? This bottom piece. This is the ground. Something like that, Noah. Yeah, and that's fine. That's totally fine. So everyone, what's important right now, at least, is you have the helicopter, you have fire A, you have fire B, and then you have a line drawn to one, a line to draw the other, and then look, we have. So here's our triangle. This right here. This is kind of like a little spoiler, but this little piece that Enzo has to create this right triangle. Well, we're going to use that on part 3 of this problem. And you can even, just to show it's a right triangle, do that. So, little spoiler, but it's okay. All right, everyone good then? Everyone's feeling good about their diagram they have currently. Good, good. All right, now I have basically the exact same thing that Enzo has. But mine has way cooler images. And they are Legos. Yeah, I got to keep my lessons rated G. I guess Legos are rated G, right? Disney approved. Okay. Now, I would like everyone to take their awesome diagram that they created. I want you to go through and I want you to label everything that you possibly can. Label, so no calculations. I don't want you to solve for the distance from the helicopter to the fire that's furthest away. I want you to just label the parts. So label all the angles that you can, and then put in the distance that is given. So right now, the only thing you're doing is you are calculating, if need be, all the angles that you see here that you'll need. So again, calculate all the angles that we need and then write in the given distance. Don't go past that point. I don't want anybody to try to calculate the answer to this yet. I want to make sure that everyone has it correct. So we have lots of angles. Like if you even wanted to, you can put 90 degrees right here, or just put a little box to show it's 90 degrees. But label every angle that you possibly can. And then give me a green check when you have done that. All right, so at this point, you should have a lot of things labeled. You should have this 14.6 somewhere on your diagram. You should have this angle either labeled or indicated as 90 degrees. You should have this angle You should have this angle. You should have this angle. You should have this angle here. You should have this angle here. All right. Does everyone have all those angles labeled on your diagram? All right. So everyone's following directions. We labeled lots of angles. We haven't really done anything other than calculate angles. Okay. Everyone, if you have a cell phone, get it out and get out your QR code scanner. If you have Android, I have Android. If you just use the regular camera app and you just hover over a QR code, it'll pop up on the camera screen without doing anything, and you can click it to go to wherever the QR code goes. For those of you that do not have a camera or a phone, I will post the link also. All right, let's see. All right, so on this next page, I would like you to scan that QR code, and then it'll bring you to a Google form, and you need to enter angle A, angle B, and angle C on the Google form. Do not put it in chat. Don't put any answers in chat. Here is the link if you'd rather just click it and go on your computer instead of your phone. It really doesn't matter. Does that QR code work for Apple users too? I tested it on my Android. It worked fine. It does? Okay. Well, super. This is fun for me. I get to see like individually, like, so guys, remember, only enter the numbers. It's fine if you didn't. I see some of you just put like degrees afterwards. I can fix that on my spreadsheet. It's just easier for me to look at with just the numbers. But yes, it's in degrees. Still waiting for a few more people. You all said you're done, but I'm only seeing 6 answers so far. No worries, no worries. Yeah, it's anonymous, of course, because only I see who it is. But it really tells me who's doing the work and who's not. If you're somebody who just kind of sits by and just watches, guys, people, for the most part, learn by doing, not by watching or listening. It's really when you get involved and you're actively participating and actively trying, that's when you're going to learn the most. All right, so I'm just gonna. So far, only 3 people have got it correct. All of them, all 3 angles. Only 3 of you got it right. So I'm gonna go through, and some of you got at least one angle correct. So I'm going to. All right, I'm just going to go through and just say the names and say you need to recheck your work. All right, so Brady, check all angles again. Naomi, check all angles again. Lizeth, your angle B is correct. Your angle A and angle C are not. Isaiah, check all angles again. So we're still missing one person, didn't respond. Who was it? I got 7 responses. Oh, there's 7 people. Oh, somebody left. They realize this is going to be an active participation class today and not just sit by and watch. It's okay. Yes, Isabella, you got them right. If I didn't call your name. So yeah, the ones that people that got it right, just so you know, Isabella, Noah, and Enzo, you got the 3 angles correct. So nice job. All right, so I'm going to give you another, and feel free to click the link again, those people, and if you want to resubmit different answers, feel free to do that. I'll give you a couple minutes, and then I'm going to give you a hint, because I have a pretty good idea of where your mistake might be. And actually, I'll point it out right now. It's right here. 35 angle of depression. So it's the word angle of depression. And then you have another one, 8-degree angle of depression. And the key word here, or keywords, is angle of depression for both of them. We learned about angle of depressions, I think it was last term. Was it? I feel like the whole year blends together, but did we do angle of depression last term? It was this term? It must have been like an earlier, like unit 1 or something, or unit 2. I don't remember. All right, so it was this term. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the SOHCAHTOA. Okay, it was this term. So anybody except, sorry, I'm gonna exclude some of you from answering this question out loud. Anybody except Isabella, Noah, and Enzo. So those 3 people, I know you know the answer because you got the 3 angles correct. So anybody except Isabella, Noah, and Enzo. Can you describe to me or tell me what an angle of depression is? Whether you use words or you chat or you, I don't know, point. How do you find, or how do you locate the angle of depression or identify it? I'm being kind of vague, and so I don't want to give it away. It's the angle from the view of the person. Partially, Brady, sure, but be more specific. So how is that angle made? If it's from the person, from their view, I'm guessing you mean from the helicopter up in the sky, looking down. Sure. So how is that angle made? Like, so my question is, on here, where would the angle of depression be? Is it talking about the angle like from here to here, or from here to here, or from here to all the way over here, which is, I guess, 90 degrees? Be more specific. Still kind of vague. It's not clear to me what you mean. Anybody else other than those three people? Well, remember, we have two angles of depression. There's a 8-degree angle of depression, and then there's a 35-degree angle of depression. So you can't, by saying that, you're telling me it's both angles? I don't. Hmm. But how do you know? So, anyways, hold on. Let's go back to the definition of angle of depression before we kind of go further, because we're kind of jumping ahead before we actually get to the definition or how to find angle of depression. All right, Enzo, Isabella, or Noah want to jump in and tell us what the angle of depression is? Be specific. So it's the angle made, but with, yeah, it's the line of sight and the horizontal line that is parallel with, in this case, the ground. So your angle of depression is made, and this, I was hoping this kind of gave it away in the way it did. This parallel line that's parallel with the ground. Angle depression is the angle made between this parallel line and their line of sight. So this would be an angle depression. All right, so this angle, well, I'm gonna check my, okay, yeah. So this angle right here, let me get my little pin out. This angle is what? 8 degrees, because it says there's an 8-degree angle depression. To one of the fires. Yep. And then we have another angle depression, which is from here to here. Let me use a different color. I'll use red. And what is that angle? Yeah, 35 degrees. Okay, 35. So I'm just going to put a 35 degrees. Okay, with that said, I would like you to make your corrections if you need to, and then resubmit your answers to that Google form. And I'll wait till everyone has, well, there's only what, 4 people that need to submit. All right, Isaiah, good job. You got all 3 correct. So you can relax. All right, Brady, you got all three correct. Naomi, you got all three correct. All right. I think that's everyone, right? Are we missing anybody? I feel like there's one more person. Maybe not. Just give me a green check. Did everyone submit and I confirm that you got all three angles correct? Oh, wait for somebody. Okay, let me see that person. I didn't. Oh, Lizeth, I didn't say you. Yeah, you got all three correct too. Sorry if I missed you. Okay, so that's everyone. All right, all right. Okay, we're all good. We're all good. So let's go on with this. Oh, and then so if this QR code didn't work, I did have another one just in case. But since this first one worked, awesome. It's the same QR code. At least it leads you to the same place. Anyway, oh, it's not covered up. No. Okay, hang on. Let me come back to here. All right. So let's talk about these angles. So we have these. This is 8 degrees. How did you find angle C? Let's do that. Naomi says 35 minus 8. Yeah, 35 minus 8. So that is, what is 35 minus 8? 27? Yeah, that sounds right. 27. Okay. Let's see. How did you find, so let's label this one. I don't know if we need it or not, but how did you find this angle? 90 minus 35. Very good. Yeah, because this, remember, this is the ceiling and the floor, they're parallel. So we have a 90 degree here, which means this is a 90 degree. And yeah, we just take 90 minus this big chunk. And what is 90 minus 35? 55 degrees. Okay, 55 degrees. So we're just going to put a 55 degrees in there. Sure. Okay. Let's see. And then here's our 90. I'll just put a little box there to represent 90 degrees. All right. How did you find this angle? So there's two ways to do it. Both ways are correct. Yeah, so we know all three interior angles of a triangle add up to, well, 180. So we know two of the three angles. So we could have just done 180 minus 90 minus 55. And then what does that equal for this angle right there? 35 degrees. Yep, so I'm just going to put in 35. And then I'll talk about the other way to do it. Okay, so if you remember in geometry, and let me go to a different page that's more clear. Let me clear this page. And I want to remind a lot of you, how do I clear this page? Oh, wait, this button, clear page. Okay, here we go. All right, let's pretend, actually, I'll do a box. That way I get two parallel lines. Okay, here we go. All right, so I got two parallel lines, top and bottom, and then I'm going to draw a straight line at an angle through them. So this is going to be a little geometry recap or whatever. And a couple of you already said it in chat. So I think Enzo, you said it, and I think Isabella, you said it too. The angle of depression. And Enzo, what was your wording? It's too much scrolling. So geometry, when you have two parallel lines and then you have a straight line that intersects both lines. Geometry, we had a postulate that said that alternate interior angles are congruent. So that means that this angle and this angle are congruent. They're the same, right? Same measure. Look familiar? I know it's been a while. So I think geometry is what, sophomore level math? And this is considered senior level math? So it may have been a couple of years, but oops. So if you look, we have two parallel lines, top and bottom. And then we have this straight line that intersects both of them. This angle, 35 degrees, and then this angle here are the alternate interior angles, 35 and 35. So we didn't necessarily have to do 180 minus 90 minus 55, but it's nice to have two ways to verify it's correct. So both ways will get you 35. Recognizing alternate interior angles is obviously faster because you just like look and then that's it. So then we have another alternate interior angle. So without doing math, so we will find A, but I want to go right to B. What is angle B and Y? It's 8. Yep. And the alternate interior angle of that, the other one is, well, this one right here, this depression. So everyone see this diagonal line intersects these two parallel lines. So 8 and 8. Alternate interior angles. Okay, how do you find angle A? And from this point, there's two ways to do it. So how do you find angle A? 180 minus 35. Or, because, what's that vocab word? These two angles are called what? Supplementary angles. Yeah, supplementary angles add up to 180. Complementary angles add up to 90. Also a terms from geometry. Supplementary angles. So 180 minus 35, what is that? 145? So we'll just put 145 here. And then I saw in chat other people said, well, we know this angle C, we know angle B, so just do 180 minus 27 minus 8, hit enter, and we'll get 145. So two ways to do it. All right, so no matter how you approach this, as long as you got all of these angles labeled, you're in great shape. And for problems on your test, your quiz, I highly recommend doing this. We want to label everything we possibly can. The more angles we have, the better. We're not going to use all the angles, but at least they're there if we do. And all of you got it. And I think the trouble for those that didn't get the first time around was this definition, angle of depression. You had forgotten that it's the angle made with the parallel horizon. And that was your only mistake, was just remembering that definition, right? All right, let's go on. So I just have it retyped, and everything's in there that we already talked about. Okay. Now, so the hard part was labeling it. It took us a good 40 minutes to label everything, which I knew it would. So we want to find the distance from the helicopter to the furthest fire. So I labeled it as side A. So I want you to use either the law of sines or law of cosines, and I want you to calculate that answer. And then give me a green check when you have done just that. You know, I should have made a Google form for that too, and I didn't. I can do it right now. Maybe I can just add it to our current one, and that we're using the same link. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. All right, when you have calculated A, go to the same link, and you should see more options to enter A. So only enter A. You don't have to enter anything else in the other blanks. They're not required. So just enter in the first one. Let me get that link for you, all of you again. Yeah, I'll go. So let me show the QR code again for those of you who like doing it that way. Let's see. There you go. That QR code should also work just the same. Just doesn't have a dinosaur. We're only doing A right now. Yeah, so the other sides are for questions 2 and 3. We're only doing question 1 right now. If I can, I have an idea. I can copy and paste that in a new row. Let's see. Oh, it failed. No surprise. Let's try it again. Oh, second time the charm. Look at that. So Yeah, only submit A. There's no point. Don't fill in anything else. All right, and then I will confirm people's answers, and that'll give you a chance to retry. All right, so one person's got it right so far. So Lizeth, try again. Noah, try again. Brady, you got it correct. Enzo, you got it correct. Naomi, try again. So it's kind of funny. So everyone's gotten it wrong so far. You all have the same wrong answer. I don't know if that's funny or not, but you're doing the same mistake. So you're all in degree mode, right? Just want to make sure. I don't know if being in radian mode would have got the wrong answer that you all have, but just a guess. Oh, okay. So everyone that got it wrong so far, they were in radian mode, and that's why the answer is wrong. Yeah, guys, these problems, you really, every time you do a problem, you got to make sure you're in the right mode. If you're doing degrees, you got to make sure you're in degree mode. I don't know. This is probably a terrible idea because you don't need to, but what if you bought two FX 115s or 300s and you had a label on one that said degree and the other one that said radians, and all you gotta do is just grab the one that you need? I don't know. But there's no point, right? Because it's just, a couple keystrokes to switch it over. Oh, you have both models? There you go. Noah, just label 1 degree, 1 radian, and I don't know. All right, so we resubmitted. Looks like Naomi, you got it correct. Liz, you got it correct. And Noah, you got it correct. Okay. So that's 6 people. Looks like some of you said BRB or whatever, and maybe just a way to get out of trying to do the problem. I don't know. Everybody's good. I think everyone that's here submitted their answer, right? Yeah, I only got 6 answers, but there's 7 of you here. Oh, that's right. Yeah, one person did BRB. Okay. All right. So, did you guys use law of sines or law of cosines? Law of sines. Yeah, that'd definitely be the easiest way to do it. I agree. So, yeah, I'm just going to quickly show all of you got it right. There's no point in me going through it. So, yeah, we get 18.446 kilometers. Very good. All right. That's problem number 1. Problem number 2. It's the same scenario, but now I want you to find the distance from the helicopter to the nearest fire. And we're going to call that B instead of A. So everyone quickly do this. The nice thing is everything is already labeled for us, right? We don't have to redo another problem. And that's why I wanted to do this problem basically 3 times is it took us 40 minutes just to label it. So this mathematical part should take maybe 5-10 minutes max per problem. I'm hoping. And so far, I think we're doing okay. All right. And same thing. When you finish this problem, go ahead and submit your answer for B. You don't have to. And let me change the. Hold on. Let me shrink this a little bit. Don't enter it yet because I have to turn off the required for A and make B required. Okay. All right, so only submit B. Don't submit the other ones. All right, then I'll verify your answers here. All right, Lizeth, you got it correct. Enzo, you got it correct. Noah, you got it correct. You didn't write down the question, Isabella? How dare you? But yes, this one is we're number 2. B is the fire closest to the helicopter. Brady, you got it correct. I don't know if I told you that already. Naomi, you got it correct. All right, Isabella, try again. And one strategy we can do is whatever law you decide, circle stuff, point to stuff. If you're doing law of sines, it's nice to kind of circle a side or the angle and kind of just point to the opposite side or angle. That way you're using the right grouping, the right pairing. How's it coming, Isabella? All right, I see your submission. All right, which method did we use? Law of sines? Isabella, same thing? All right, Isabella, tell me your setup. So on the left side of the equation, what did you write? (18,446) over sine 145. Okay, and then on the right side, what did you use? B over sine 55. Okay, all right, so why did you use sine of 55? So let me circle what you're saying so far. All right. So you said you're using side A, which we found on the previous problem. So you're using this side and the opposite angle. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. No, that's correct. You don't want to use rounded work, so hopefully you use the exact number, which is the step before typing it in, or sorry, before hitting enter. Okay, so you're saying, so remember, we're solving for B, right? Now, if you're trying to use this right triangle, we would have to use this side and this angle 90 degrees, like you said. But then now we're stuck in this triangle because now we can only use either this side or this side, which we don't know yet. Do you see the problem? So if we're using this side and this, well, we would have to use this non-right triangle. So if you use this side and this angle, we have to use this side with this angle. Do you see the mistake, Isabella? I don't think I did a very good job explaining it. Now, what Enzo pointed out is if you're using this side A, which we can, but when you use side A, make sure that you use the exact value, which is this right here. So when you type it in, you want to type this entire thing in. You don't want to type this in because this is rounded work. Now the answers may be the same. They very well could be. I don't know. I didn't try it, but we want to use exact values, not rounded values. But that is one way to do it. The way that I'm going to assume everyone else did this problem. They use B, of course, because we need to find it. They use side B, and then they use, oops, oh my goodness, I think that can was empty. Scared me. And that angle, which is 8 degrees. And then this side is given. We should probably try to use that again. And the side or the angle opposite would be 27. So that would probably be the easier route, but of course not the only route. All right, we good? Okay. All right, Isabella, good? Okay. All right, and then there's the math that goes with it, and then you would get that answer. Okay. All right, one more problem. So we found the distance to the furthest fire, which is A. We found the distance to the nearest fire, which is B. Now we need to find the height of the helicopter, which is from the ground to, well, the helicopter. So there's a maybe at least two ways that I can think of to do this problem. There might be a maybe actually there's I can think of three ways top of my head how to do this problem. There might be a fourth, but I can't think of it. I would like you to answer this, and then and we are doing the height, right? So x, we're trying to find the x value. So there's B, and then here's A. I probably meant to put A on there just for fun. Let me just write a little A there, just so we have it complete or whatever. And then I'm going to paste the QR code again after I modify it slightly. Okay, so it's modified, and you just need to answer that. Yep. And there's two questions. So I want to know what the height is, and then the question after that, I ask you which method you used. And I put just like a list of possible maybe choices, and then I put in other just in case I didn't think of one, or distractors. So testing 1, 2, 3. All right, mic working again. Okay. Did anyone else get kicked out or just me? Yeah, it did what it did yesterday. It like my screen went blurry, and then I got kicked out, but then I rejoined right away. I did that because I wanted to make my camera first. I think his is broken. He needs to refresh. Isaiah, you still here? No, I think he's still gone. Isaiah, make yours live and then take it off live. Yours is stuck. You click the live button and on the participants pane. Oh, you don't have that button? Okay, weird. Yeah, I can't make you live, but I can make everyone else live. Okay. Don't refresh. If you refresh, it may not let you back in. Yeah, it's fine. Here, Isaiah, I'll make you a mod, and then you can see if you can change the live status of yourself. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, good job. It worked. Okay. All right, we're good. Let's see. Let's see how everyone's doing. So it looks like we all got 2.56. Ooh, wait, hold on. Is everyone done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, everyone's done. That's here. All right. Yep, 2.567. We all got it right. Nice job. So we got law of sines. So I'm going to just kind of go through the list of who used what. All right. So Brady used law of sines. Enzo, Lizeth, Naomi all used law of sines. Noah used right triangle trig, and Isabella used the Pythagorean theorem. And then Isaiah, you used law of sines. Okay. All right, and I believe that's correct. So let's talk about this one. Let me get rid of my little QR code here. So on the right here, I just have the work for B, okay, from the previous problem. Because I'm assuming most of you who use law of sines used this value. Is that fair to say? Yeah, okay. We want to find x. So the way that I did it on my paper here. So actually, I'll talk about law of sines first. People who did law of sines, what was on the left side of your equation? So b over. Okay, that's one way to do it. So b over sine 90. So b over sine 90. I personally would have put the x on the left side equal sign, but because I usually do that, it's okay if you didn't. You hit on the right. Doesn't matter. So x. Yeah, so it's going to be x over sine 35. So here's the side. Opposite angle is 35. So you should have x over sine of 35. And then on the other side, or on the first side, Enzo did, you had b over sine of 90, right? And that's how most of you did it. And there's nothing wrong with that. By the way, what is sine of 90? Just look at you're in a circle. Sine of 90 degrees. 90 degrees. What does that equal? So if you kind of simplify that, what you have written is really x over the sine of 35 is equal to b, correct? Everyone see that, right? Because sine of 90 is just 1. Okay, so we just simplify it. So let's hold that thought for a second. One person did right triangle trig, and that's really what I was hoping all of you would do, because I think it's kind of maybe the easier route. But remember, there's more than one way to do a lot of these problems. This one being, well, one of them. We're going to use right triangle trig. Remember, SOHCAHTOA. I'm going to do the sine of 35 is equal to, remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine of 35 is equal to x over b. And we know what b is. I just don't want to write it yet until we're ready. Now, we can, from here, what are we going to do? Multiply both sides by b. Yep. Now, people who did the law of sines, you should have got to this step if you simplified sine of 90 is equal to 1. Does everyone see that? So the law of sines is really closely related to right triangle trig. The only difference is the law of sines works in all triangles, not just right triangles. It's kind of a cool connection. At least I think it is. Anybody's mind just blown? No? Okay. Totally. All right. All right. And then we're solving for x. So at this point, we're going to replace b with what it's equal to. Again, guys, we don't want to use rounded values. So we don't want to use this. However, typing this in to b and then typing that in and hitting enter, it might give us the same answer when typing this in. So using exact work, don't use rounded work. So we're going to actually replace b with this right here, 14.6 sine of 8 all over sine of 27. So that's what I did. And then we just type that in. So really what you can do to make it simple or easy on yourself is type this in, hit enter, and then hit the times button. Then type in sine 35, hit enter again, and then you'll have your answer, and you didn't use any rounded work. And yeah, we all got the correct answer. So that is right triangle trig. And that's it. So let me recap this kind of problem. On your quiz, you're going to be given problems that you're going to have to solve one of these 3 variations. For my example, I took you through all 3 of them because at least finding the height, we have to first find this length, and we found it by using law of sines. So number 3 was basically a 2-part problem, even though it maybe didn't feel like one, just because we treated this as problem number 2. Does that make sense? So given a problem on your quiz or on your test, I'm pretty confident all of you will be able to work through it. And these problems do take some time. Labeling, it takes time. We spent 40 minutes going through on how to just label it properly. And then we spent the next let's see, the next, well, 37 minutes going through the actual math. So, did you guys enjoy doing it that way, using Google Forms and putting in answers? And yeah, I thought it was kind of fun. I liked it too. I wish we could do more of it, but we just don't have enough time in class. We could only do it today because, well, we had a repeat from the previous week. So we actually got a kind of like a free day to do some of this stuff. Trig, pre-calc, this math takes, it takes longer to do than any previous math class you've ever had. And because of that, we can't do kind of like this stuff that I consider kind of fun. The suspense of knowing whether you're correct. Yes. Yeah, I agree. AOE. I see AOE. I think area of effect. What's AOE mean? AOE would be 8 degrees word. Angle of elevation. Yes. That, so if this person was waving, they're like fighting the fire, and they're like, "Hey, there's my buddy in the helicopter where he's safe." That would be an 8-degree angle of elevation. And then if this person was looking the other direction at his buddy in the helicopter, his angle of elevation would be 35 degrees. So yeah, good point. Good point. All right, everyone satisfied? I hope so. Well, as always, thanks for coming, and I hope you learned something. I will see all of you tomorrow, which is Friday, and we are starting 4.07. And great news, section 4.07 is by far the easiest section of this unit. We have 3 days of it, but all 3 days are relatively easy compared to what we've been doing so far in Unit 4. It'll feel nice ending on kind of like a nice, easy note before starting spring break. All right, everyone. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.